Coach, how does it feel to be back in Hamburg?
Grateful, really excited. Been looking to be a head coach here for a couple of years now. Wasn't going to just go for any position. It needed to be the right fit, a place I think we could find success. Hamburg checked all the boxes. Tremendous support from administration. The kids are hungry. We have talent. I work in the building, know the culture of the school. So for me, it was a no-brainer. When the opportunity came, I jumped at it. So
I've heard a lot about Isaac, and he's only going to be a freshman. What is his potential?
Yeah, so we have two guys battling to be a starting quarterback right now. Isaac McFadden, who you're referencing, going to be a freshman, extremely talented. When it comes to athleticism, work, putting in the work in the weight room, building his body to be ready to play on a Friday night. He's done everything. And then we have Isaac Stewart, who's going to be a junior as well. Both those guys kind of battling. They both bring a little something different to the table. One's more of a pocket guy. One's more, dynamic and still throw the football. So, we're going to see how it all shakes out. But, really excited and confident in whoever that guy ends up being.
High school football has kind of copied what they're doing in college NFL, spreading people out, throwing the ball a lot. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, so the way we view it, is, to me, offense is you need to have a system. You can't have a collection of plays. Because when you have a system, you can adapt to who you are and what you have. We're always you got to play football with 5 linemen, you got to play the quarterback who are your next 5 best guys. That's why, I'll give a shout out to my head coach in college, Jeff Narr. That was always our philosophy at Kings. So we're going to see. We have a really good idea who we're going to be. My last year at Hamburg, we chucked it around. Tyler Shuey threw for almost 3,000 yards because that's what our offense called for. We were young up front, and then I went to Pottsville last year, and we were in 12 personnel. A lot of heavy sets, 2 tight ends because we had 2 good ones. So, we have an idea of what we're going to be at Hamburg, but you never know until the pads come on. So, we're excited to get rolling next week a little bit, and that's going to kind of dictate how we go offensively.
Who are some of the other players that we should keep an eye on this season?
At the skill position, I think it starts with our running back, Blaze Ernst. He's going to be a junior. My last year at Hamburg here, it was his freshman year. The second half of the season, he was our guy at running back. Has tremendous vision. On the outside, you got a couple guys that have played a lot of football between Ethan Horvath and Owen Bentz. Alex Soto was going to have a big year last year as a sophomore, and then he got hurt week 3. And at tight end, we have Mason Strunk, who I think is going to be, should be on people's radar. He's going to be one of the best tight ends in the league this year. I'm pretty confident in that. And then, those are some guys on the offense side of the ball, and a lot of those same names on the defense side of the ball. Bryce Schmeck at linebacker is going to be a sophomore. We're hoping he can really step into that role there. At the safety position, it's going to be a combination of, Horvath, so those same names. So, we're really excited about what we're bringing back and think, we have potential for a pretty good year.
You look at your section, Schuylkill Valley won it last season. Lancaster Catholic has an outstanding running back in Brandon Way, who's back. Berks Catholic is a solid program. What do you think about the competition within Section 5?
Yeah, it's a great league. My last year at Hamburg, Berks Catholic was still in Section 4. Them coming down, I think, is phenomenal for the conference, for the section. It's really going to be tough each and every week, and our back half of our schedule is where those teams you named, are really at. But the entire Anvil is always tough. Every team each and every week is bringing their competitiveness, they're bringing their toughness, and I think it's a great league overall. I think the way you got to navigate that is we got to handle ourselves. We got to be the tougher team every Friday night. We got to pursue the football with a relentless effort, and we got to be the more fundamentally sound team, and we got to play for each other. So if we do that every Friday night, we got a chance against anybody.
The Frost Bowl is always a big game in that area of Berks County. How important is that one to you and your staff?
It's extremely important. Our players, that's the one that they have circled. Let's be honest. It's been a couple years since Hamburg's had the trophy. Schuylkill Valley proudly displayed it at their basketball game, and our guys didn't forget that. So that one's circled, and we'll be ready that Friday night.
Appreciate your time, and good luck this season.
Absolutely, appreciate it.